Alright YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. Another day, another servo. And this one's been sent to us by the guys at Ludicrous and Ludicrous Lipos. I'll leave a link in the description and put some up around here so you can get to their site. So they've been good enough to send us this one after watching some of the other videos that we've got on testing servos. And they're as interested as I am to find out how this servo stacks up against the rest of them, and also how it stacks up against its advertised specs. So it's waterproof to level IP67, operating voltage is 4.8 to 8.4 volt, it's got a pulse frequency 330 Hz. We've got an operating speed of 0.07 over 60 degrees at 6 volt, 0.06 at 7.4 and 0.052 at 8.4, which is bloody quick. That is a very quick servo. So torque specs, we're looking 16 kilogram or 222 ounce inch at 6 volt. 19 kilogram or 264 ounce inch at 7.4 and 23 kilogram at 320 ounce inch at 8.4 volt. It's listed as a Ludicrous Servo L7919 and it's a brushless servo. So let's have a look what we get in box. It's quite nice packaging. Always like it when servos come in these resealable boxes. One, they're better for environment, and two, you've got somewhere to keep all your bits. Because if we're into RC, we have lots of bits. Basically, little tiny screws, tie wraps, everything. And these boxes are fantastic for it. So, they are really well packaged. Let's see if I can get this bit of paperwork out the bottom of it. So we've got a little spec sheet with everything that's on, and it is listed as brushless. Motor drive is FET drive. It says programmable, yes. Gears, stainless steel. 25 tooth servo spline, and it's a all metal case. And it says AL6061T6. Metal bearings, horn accessories, which are these, plastic in this one. So yeah, the rest of the specs looks same as what I've read you on the box. So let's have a look what we get in the little packet. Right, so we've got the little servo cushions. If you don't know how to use these, they stop the shock going through the servo. Some RC cars you can use these, some you can't, so you're going to have to experiment. But basically, all we do with these is push them onto the servo, and then you push the little insert in, and it just gives you something nice and solid to screw the servo in. It does take a bit of fiddling to get them in. But basically, they just sit on like that. And then you usually have to poke the insert out to get them back out if you don't want to use them. Now, looking at the servo horns, although these are plastic, they are quite beefy. So you do get two different servo horns, a dual and a single. And they do fit on there really snug. It's quite a smooth feeling servo, that as well. So yeah, they're a really tight fit. The actual servo wire, so you've got a decent length wire on it, and this I really like. So I believe the grey wire is your signal. I'll just double check. Yeah. So the grey wire is the signal, but rather than the red, orange and whatever else, because if you've got a really nice looking servo, you might as well have a nice looking cable. But I do like the fact that they've used grey just to signify it, so you're not looking for a tiny little plus minus sign on the actual plug, because certainly as you get older your eyes don't work as well. So yeah, nice to identify which is the sensor wire. Right, well, moving on from some of the other servo tests that we've done, and let's have a look and see if we can see what kind of setup this servo's got in it. And one thing I'm noticing straight away is each one of these screws has got a tiny little rubber O-ring on it to help with waterproofing. And we have got some more specs around the servo. It says brushless HV for high voltage servo and then magnetic sensor. So it's shaping up to be what it says it is, which in RC we're all learning that you basically can't really believe anything that's on most of boxes. Now this is something I've yet to see in any other servos. So it's got some really nice non-conductive tape covering all the electronics. So that's quite nice. And unlike the Demond servo, if I just peel this tape back ever so slightly, so we do have lots of waterproofing on the actual circuit board, but you've got your AC grid to control your brushless motor and all the sensor points. So yep, this servo is not a coreless or anything like some of the other brands like to badge up as brushless. So I really do like the attention to detail with the non-conductive captain tape, and the actual build quality is really nice how it fits together, and also the little rubber O-rings just to stop the water getting in. So far so good. It's actually looking like it is what it claims to be, which is nice after we keep seeing batteries that are nowhere near the capacity they stated, or batteries with internal resistance all over the place, or servos that claim to be brushless that aren't actually brushless. You do start thinking, how many of these sort of buzzwords can we believe? How many is going to be an advantage? Because are you actually getting the thing that you think you're paying for? But yeah, certainly so far on this one, really impressed with the build quality. But let's get this one mounted up on the test rig and see how it performs. Right, so we've got everything zeroed, and this is as close as we can get to 8.4 volt. So we're advertised at 8.4 volt, it's advertised at 23 kilograms, and at 8.1 volts, so we're slightly down on voltage, and we're still getting on average 20 kilogram, so pretty close to spec. Let's drop the voltage down now and see what we get at 7.4. So we've got it set at 7.4, but we're actually getting 7.2. So again, this is going to be reading a little low. So we're getting averaging 18.5 at 7.2 volt, and the specs are advertised at 7.4 volt to be 19. So again, slightly lower on voltage and only reading an average of very slightly below 19. So tend to believe the result on that. Let's finally get it down to 6 volt and do the last test. So set at 6 volt, we're actually getting 5.8. And again, this is a really strenuous test for a servo. So the 6 volt specs are 16 kilogram, and we're getting an average of 15.7, and we're running at 5.8 volt, not 6. So yeah, quite an impressive servo and really well made. So let's get to conclusion. So before we get to conclusion, just run through a few tests. So this is the Savox. So we've got the SB2292SG, and we've got the Ludicrous L7919. So just to give you some idea of how quick this is, so this is at 6 volt. And it does seem ever so slightly quicker than the Savox. But let's ramp it up a bit. Let's get to 7.5. So this is at 7.5 on them both. If I try and go over the full amount of travel, it's definitely quicker than the Savox. Let's see if we can get it to do a 90. And again, we'll try it at 8.4. So, don't think there's an awful lot in it, but to my eye, it definitely seems quicker than the Savox. And it definitely seems a whole lot quieter than the Savox. So let's just run the Ludicrous one on its own. And I'll just swap over to the Savox. You can definitely tell that is a lot noisier, but that gives you a indication of the speed. Now I'll try and get you some good close-ups of this, but it is a really, really nice looking servo. And again, the just the attention to detail, running a grey sensor wire doesn't look horrible in your build, but within a split second you can tell which way plug goes round. Gears seem nice. It does seem smoother operation than the Savox, and to what I believe, they are actually cheaper than the Savox as well. Yet to test this Savox for strength and everything, and just with the quick bit of movement we've been doing there, I can feel the heat in the Savox. It's not hot, but I can feel there's some heat there. This servo, the Ludicrous, didn't eat up through any of the torque tests. You couldn't feel it at all, which is quite impressive. So what would I use this servo for? Potentially a 4-wheel drive 1/10. I mean, you have got sort of slightly upwards of 20 kilograms worth of torque, so potentially even a 1/8 buggy. But yeah, very nice servo, and I'll try and put a link to it in the description as always. But it's a brushless high voltage servo that is actually brushless. Demand, looking at you. And very well made. So yeah, thanks to the guys at Ludicrous for letting us have a look at one of their lightning quick servos. Certainly got the speed. I mean, that's comparing it to a relatively quick and quite expensive Savox. So yeah, definitely up there with the speed. Definitely really good build quality. And it is IP67 waterproof as well. So yeah, Ludicrous. Bloody good job on a genuine brushless and as advertised spec servo. Congrats. I think this is the first product that I've reviewed that has come out to be exactly what it says it is. Nice work, guys. So if you find this kind of video interesting or useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, share to friends and family or anybody else you might find it interesting, and catch you guys again in the next one.